right, Jacob, clubhouse leader. Can you just talk about you making your tournament debut this week, how it was today, battling those elements out there?
It was great. It's kind of a flashback to last week. We got today what I think I expected on Sunday at Pebble, and it ended up being great. But the rain was tough. The wind might have been a little bit harder than the rain. But, yeah, it was cool. I'm glad to be here, glad to be playing Riv.
Had some conditions last week, not major, but now this. Do you like playing in that or back yourself when the conditions are like this?
Yeah, I think one of my strengths is kind of flighting shots down, hitting shots where people don't really know how far it's playing, what the number actually is, and just kind of feeling it out. I think I do good when I'm hitting a 6-iron from 150 yards. I think I'm pretty good with that. And I think today, especially in the wind, it played into my favor. I got to hit some of those shots that I saw some people hitting high, ballooning shots that were getting smoked by the wind. So that's kind of my comfort zone.
Can you kind of take us through last week on 18? We saw that from the perspective of the TV and kind of in the kind of view of Collin and having to wait, but you kind of going back and forth. Can you kind of just take us through that?
Yeah, that was an adventure. I took a risk off the tee because, I wanted to make an eagle, hit a driver, hit an awesome shot, and then same kind of thing. I was like, I got to start this over the water if I want to make an eagle to tie this golf tournament. And I hit almost a too good shot that went too low and went right through the wind, hit the rock, and was miles from anywhere you would think to play a golf shot. And same kind of thing. I was going to try it even if the lie was bad. I wanted to give myself a chance. So didn't work out, and then it was like, man, this sucks. I got to start over. Go back to the fairway, and I'm looking back there, looking at them pacing around, knowing that they're just frustrated. And, the last thing I want to do is ice Collin and get him to, mess up. So I'm kind of glad it ended the way it did. He hit an awesome shot in there and, two-putted for the win. So it kind of worked out perfectly.
Is there a moment earlier in your career, whether it be pro or amateur or junior golf, where you kind of went for broke like that and ended up in a similar spot? Or
not anything to that degree. Definitely not. I don't know that I've had to take on that type of risk in my career, just because the weather we were facing, the iconic hole, and then the difficulty of the shot. I don't think I've ever had to do anything like that. Especially in junior golf and college golf, I've kind of always pulled it off, and that was a time where I did it, and, it sucks, but I was all right with it.
You've had a nice start to the year, all things considered. Was there anything that happened in the off season, practice-wise, or with your game, or anything you gleaned last year that you feel like's helped you so far these, month and a half or so?
Yeah, I think making the Tour Championship, I got an actual off season for the first time in my pro career, which was amazing. Every year since I've turned pro, I've been playing all through the fall. Even when I got my card from Korn Ferry, I was playing sponsor exemptions in the fall tournament. So I think that the rest helped a lot, getting my body kind of the way I wanted it again and not having to kind of fix a broken body. So that was a big one. And then I think my good luck charm is I got married on December 19th. So I've played pretty good since I got married. That could be one.
Is that just like confidence-inducing, doing it at a venue like Pebble with that field, backing it up? Obviously just one round, but backing it up here.
Yeah.
I mean, you obviously make the Tour Championship, played against the best players in the world, but do it back-to-back weeks in these types of tournaments.
Yeah, I think last year was kind of me getting comfortable playing around bigger guys and famous people that I dreamed of playing with growing up. I played with Rory, I think, twice in the playoffs, and my first time with that, I was sort of nervous about it, and then it ended up being, pretty comfortable. So I think just getting to know the guys that I grew up watching and feeling comfortable around them makes me feel way more at ease.
Would that have been BMW you played with him the first time?
I think I played, BMW final round. I'm trying to get my spot in the Tour Championship, and I'm playing in front of 1,000 people or so with Rory. But it actually worked out great because they could care less what I was doing. They were all worried about him, and they didn't care what I was doing.
What was the movement? I mean, we see it with, guys back in the day when they played with Tiger. There's a lot of movement, a lot of shuffling around. Was that there? Did that bother you? Or?
I think for sure, but that was kind of the whole day. Even when he was putting, there's just people that are golf fans that want to see Rory. They don't really know a whole lot. So, yes, there was a lot of that, but I've never been one to be distracted really by noise or movement, so it didn't really bother me.
How nice is it to have the type of West Coast swing that you've had, knowing that next week you're now going to go to Florida and cognizant, a place that you've played well and some familiar grasses and kind of environment?
Yeah, kind of. I guess before this season, my dream would be to start the season in Florida. That's my comfort zone. That's where I know the grass is Bermuda and in the wind, in the warm. So that's what I love to play, and I've never really had any success on the West Coast in my career. But I think I'm starting to understand more of how to play out here and be a little bit more confident with it. We never played out here in college. I never played in junior golf out here. So really my coming out for the West Coast was as a pro. So I'm starting to get a little bit more comfortable. I'm still trying to figure out Poa and greens, but I'm doing all right.
Would you have been one of those guys that went to the orientation at Sony a couple years ago?
Yes, in
Okay.
Hawaii.
Were you in the field, or did you not?
I was
get in?
the last guy in when the week started, and then I think a couple more guys got in from alternates. But yeah, I was 14 on the list, and I think I was the last in.
All right, awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jacob.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jacob.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.